Let's go. All right. Well, welcome out to the June the Realtor Podcast Show. Man, we got a special guest in the building today. We got Mr. Joseph Armstrong, a.k.a. Fatherhood. And we're going to be going over a few different topics today, man. We're going to talk about whatever really comes to our mind, whatever, entrepreneurs want to talk about here. That's what our show is dedicated to. Well, on my show, that's what we try to do. We try to promote entrepreneurs and honestly, not just entrepreneurs, man. We want to talk about anything, life in general, right?
Absolutely.
What we're doing right here is a form of showing love. That's what this is, man. Talking to another person, getting to know them. Joseph's been a pretty cool guy. So, Joseph, I'm going to actually gift you one of my June the Realtor hats, man. I only got 10 of them made.
Wow.
So
thank you so much.
I'm hoping to make some more, but the next ones are actually going to look a little different. That's one of the OG ones right there. So you're going to have to keep that one.
In fair exchange to you, man. I definitely brought you a Fatherhood hat.
Hey, let me see.
One of my black top sellers, man. So that's for you.
Let's check it out.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think? Should I wear it right now? Should I put it on? Hey, let's take it off. Let's see.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Do it right now.
There we go.
I got a big dome, so we gotta push it out three notches.
There you go.
All right.
Get that, man.
Andy, how do I look? All right, that's awesome, man. Hey, here, I'm gonna give you.
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna give you this keychain too, man.
Thank you so much. Man, this is dope.
Save that for me, man, because one day when I sell you a house,
absolutely,
that key is gonna be on that keychain.
Man, a couple, two or three houses.
Oh man. Well, first and foremost, Joseph, just want to thank you for coming on to my podcast, man. It means a lot to me. We were just joking about it right now, guys, but I ask people to come on my podcast, and they never want to freaking come on, man. People are scared of the camera or something. What you scared of?
Thank you, June, man, for having me on the podcast, man. I'm a fan of what you're doing, so it's a true blessing to be here, man, and I'm thankful to be here. Appreciate it.
Vice versa, brother, vice versa. Well, a lot of people are probably going to wonder what you're doing on my show today, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a couple questions for you. And obviously, first and foremost, fatherhood, right?
Absolutely.
I'm a father myself, just had about to have a 1-year-old.
Okay.
And so that's one of the first things that struck with me is this guy's out here promoting on Instagram. He's building a brand that he loves, and I'm sure you have kids, right?
Absolutely. I'm blessed with one. Amen.
And so that leads me to ask you, man, so what inspired you to start Fatherhood, the brand?
Absolutely, man. It's a long story, but to be perfectly honest with you, man, I bought my own brand hat first. So I used to, and I went to T-shirt Mart, and I used to always talk about fatherhood on my Facebook and things like that, man. And just was trying to come up with more money financially or what have you,
right?
And so I went to T-shirt Mart, and obviously, it was just a blank canvas hat, and you can get it anything embroidered on there. So I asked the lady, "Hey, can you put fatherhood on the hat?" And she was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So it was a red hat, got stitched in fatherhood, and for a long time I would just always wear this hat that just said fatherhood on it. And not knowing that I bought my own inspiration of my own brand 10 years later on.
Whoa, yeah, 10 years later?
10 years later, man. I used to just rock this hat that said fatherhood. And, make a long story short, man, it was that hat that I bought for myself. I think I paid like $20 for it to get it made or what stitched on there. It ended up being the inspiration to what I'm doing now. So it just said fatherhood, and it had the logo, and then just said fatherhood on there.
Man, I love that. I love the so there's another brand that my fiance got me. This is before I met you, man.
Right.
So she had this thing. I don't know if you saw. It's called like Dad Gang.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And I told her. I said, hey, there's like a market for this.
Yeah.
Because in my generation right now, like it's different, man. Like a lot of people are actually proud to be fathers, man. People are getting happy to have kids, and like I don't know, you just take it as a blessing, And so it's cool to see your brand. And what really stuck out to me, this is gonna sound funny. I'm gonna give a plug to Jersey Maniac really quick. Jersey Maniac, I know you're gonna be hearing this. If you guys want custom jerseys, hit up our boy.
Jersey.
He's that's the one, man. He's the one that plugged us in together, and why we're even having this conversation today. So that's what stuck out to me, man. Is he actually handed such a nice guy, bro. He took he actually chopped it up with me, believe it or not. He didn't know me from Adam. Came through to my house, dropped off my jersey. We chopped it up for an hour. And this guy, he's pretty cool, man. He's out there. He's doing his thing, hustling. But I saw that he handed your hat to Lefty Gunplay.
Yes.
Okay, talk about that a little bit. How did that make you feel?
Man, first off, shout out to Jersey Maniac, man, and shout out to Lefty Gunplay for showing me love. Same thing, man. He just reached out to me. I've been doing business with him, getting jerseys from him, and just a good guy, man, stand-up guy. And I know that he's moving in a direction that, people love custom-made jerseys, so I know he's going to go beyond California. So I'm just proud of him. I always encourage him, show him love and things like that. So, but anyway, I reached out to him and just let him know, like, hey, bro, you be, out there in L.A. making moves and things like that, man. Let me put some hats in your car for you. Like, oh, bro, don't say no more, man. So I said, whenever you back in town, just reach out to me. Whatever color hat you need, I'll put them together for you. And he was, telling me about the black and yellow jersey that he was going to put together. I'm like, oh, man, I got the hat perfect for that.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
So make a long story short, man, he just, blessed me with the opportunity, and the jersey matched the hat, and Lefty Gunplay, took some pictures and sent it to me, man. So it's just about building connection, man, building relationships with people, and just keeping your word and showing love, man. Showing love, and it's a good thing.
That's right, man. That's like I said, man. That's why we're here today. This is what we and I know you'll see me at the end of this podcast. Like I give a plug for it, man. But like the world is a hateful place, man. Yeah. So it's not a bad thing to show love to people that are entrepreneurs, people that are investors, that are out here working hard to promote their brands, to do big things in life. It costs you almost nothing to be nice to somebody.
Absolutely.
And so, anyways, yeah, man, Jersey Maniacs was a nice guy. When I met him, dude, he sat there, and I was thinking, like, when he first came up, I was like, I wonder if he's gonna be nice to me, whatever. Man, dude was down to earth. And it's funny, I was like, hey, if I gave you a hat, would you give it to him to wear?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, bro, I got you. Like, and I'm like,
yeah,
you don't meet nice people like that, man. And he grew up in Spring Valley. I'm not from Spring Valley, but my family grew up in Spring Valley. Believe it or not, I grew up here in Chula Vista, man. So, but it's just cool to meet people around town that are willing to help you out, man. And those are the kinds of connections that you make when you reach out to people, when you connect.
And I strongly believe in that the energy that you put out to the world will boomerang back to you.
That's right.
So that's the way I look at life, man. No matter what I'm going through or anything like that, man, I put out that positive vibe. I put out that positive energy, and it boomerangs back to me.
Now, I got a couple questions for you, man. So, obviously, you're the CEO, the founder, right, of Fatherhood. Can you talk to me about, like, some of the goals of where you want to take this company? What do you want to do? What do you want to see out of this?
Well, there's a lot of different things that I, obviously want to do continue to grow the brand. Obviously probably would, love to get a distribution deal somewhere or, thing like that. I would definitely like a brick and mortar store, with just my hats or what have you. Not really looking to do any other apparel right now. Just love to, push my hats. Got so many different cities and states to accomplish, right now I'm, pushing in California, but want to start moving to different cities and states and things like that. And like you said, there's a lot of proud fathers out there. Well, there's always been proud fathers. It's just a different time and energy.
Right.
A different time and energy now where, people don't have to work 2 or 3 jobs and things like that. I mean, that's still a common thing. But, people is able to spend more time with their children and, quality time and things like that.
100%.
So, and a lot of people is becoming taking the energy to become their own bosses and create their own lanes. So when you do that, that creates lanes for you to spend more time with your family and things like that. So, but, to get back on the topic, I just want to continue to grow the brand. Just doing it from the heart and soul, man, and just excited to see where it's going to grow, You know, I'm just pushing it every day. Obviously, website, things like that. But just definitely would like to continue to grow the brand worldwide.
So a lot of people that are out here that probably, a lot of people work the 9 to 5, right? You know, and that's okay, right? When you're starting up a brand, you're starting up, you're being an entrepreneur. You got to keep money flowing in somehow.
Absolutely.
And so my next question for you would be like, have you? So this is like one of the main brands that you have right now. So Fatherhood, right? This is the main design. Do you have like any other designs? Are you working on any bigger designs? Anything?
No, well, it took me my original logo, it said Fatherhood and it was embroidered in black and gold.
Okay.
And it was kind of like similar to colors from like Africa, like the flag from Jamaica, actually. Africa. And that was the first logo that I started with, right? So I was just thinking about from the mindset of, my culture and where I came from and things like that. So as I start branching out to different areas, I realized, fatherhood is universal. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, man, I got to revamp my logo. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I think like about a year later, I revamped my logo, kept the same fatherhood, and that's a crown, a gold crown. I took away one of the O's and put a gold crown. And I'm just passionate about that logo. I will never change it. Everything is locked in, and I love it. I got it printed on me for life. So.
Man, is there a way can you show that? Show that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Go like that, fold it in. Yeah, look at that. That's insane.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so you're hella passionate about it.
Man.
What the fuck?
Forever.
That's crazy.
Forever, bro.
Hey, but you know what? That's next level, bro. Like if you believe in something so much, right? My one of my mentors, my uncle, he'll probably hear this, but he always talks about you want to bend the will, the world's will into your existence, right?
Absolutely.
You want to. Whatever you want to forge into existence, you got to push it, bro. Yeah. Like, that is next level. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even see that, man. Let me see that again. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it just, what it is just the passion.
Yeah.
The passion, man. Willing to do it regardless if you got support, and willing to do it if you just by yourself.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Oh, go ahead. I mean, cut you off.
No. But no, it's just the passion for what I have, what I'm doing right now.
Man, sounds like a little bit of myself, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
But I've been there, and I know, like, dude, when you're trying to like take a business that you have in your head, but nobody else can see. It's like an artist, right? You're trying to paint the picture, but you're the only one that has it in your head. You only know what you're gonna do.
Absolutely.
And so it's cool to see, man. Like, damn, that is pretty badass. That's like as if I got June the Realtor tatted on my bicep or on my,
Let's go.
You got to be that passionate about it.
You do. And honestly, man, I always heard the term about you can see your dreams, and not when you're dreaming in sleep, but you can see your dreams like vivid, your vision.
Yep.
And it took for me to be able to, obviously be blessed with this purpose, and I could see my vision like daily. I can see the billboards, I can see all of those different things with my logo, and it's not a dream. It's like you can see your vision that when you have that passion.
Absolutely, and that's something you got to grab, you got to hold, and then you got to make sure nobody snatches that from you.
Absolutely.
For some reason, like, the world has this thing where they're so hell bent on tearing you down, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they always say, like, the world can't wait to build you up to break you back down, and so. There's a point right now where, you're gaining momentum. You're building, and then you never know, man. People start targeting you, start bringing you down. But you got to always keep that vision in your head and stay solid on that, because I always joke around about this, but that little logo right there, the June the Realtor thing, I was up at 2 a.m. one time I was messing with AI, right? I'm like, what kind of photos can I pull for my real estate? Like for a logo, because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do something different in real estate. I want to build a brand. I want to build a staple. I want to build a community name. I want, when I'm walking on the road, they're like, oh, that's June the Realtor. That's June. That's And so I was like, all right, every business has a logo.
Yeah.
Right. Most business, like Mortgage Heroes, has a logo.
Right.
Right. June the Realtor has a logo. Fatherhood has a logo. Pepsi, Coke, Walmart. And I said this on some of my other podcasts. But when you have that was my starting point, man. For me, I had hustled 2 years trying to get business. Then I realized, hold up, I'm doing this all backward. Let me lock in on my brand. Who the hell am I? What the hell am I doing? What am I going to do different?
That's right.
And so that's what I respect about you, is because you realize, like, there's a niche market. Fatherhood is universal.
Yes, it's universal.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And the thing about the piggyback off that, man, is that, you're right about the brand, man. Like, when I'll be, out in the city and things like that, man, people just say fatherhood, and I'll be turning around. Sometimes I'll be forgetting that they speaking about me, because obviously my name is Joseph. But, when you become your brand, that's what people, if they, recognize it and stuff like that. But what I also want to just say is that always talk to my son about not getting too high and not getting too low. Just stay your purpose and what you're doing, because obviously, people love lefty gunplay and things like that. So obviously my views went up and things of that nature. And, I still stay focused on my brand. As soon as I post that about lefty gunplay, I post about my hats.
Yep.
And I might get 5 or 6 likes, but that's okay. I'm not going to let that post of lefty gunplay get me to the feeling this way. And then when I get less likes, I'm feeling this way. No, I stay
consistent.
on my purpose. Stay on my consistent purpose. And you gotta feel confident about what you're doing.
Yeah, like I could tell you, in my world, like for real estate, it takes a long time to build a name. It takes a long time to build trust, right? And you got to work at it day in, day out. And I was just telling somebody recently, like the first home I sold, in real estate, I had only sold 1 home my first year.
Wow.
My second year, I sold 2 homes. This is now my 3rd year going into real estate, and I'm going on 7.
Wow, congratulations.
Year to date, which is insane, man. But it's all why? Why? It's because of the seeds I planted.
Absolutely.
I was planting seeds for 2 years, bro.
Absolutely.
I mean, I almost lost, and I'll share this with you. I almost lost my home in the process, right? I was 6 months late on my mortgage. I bought, to give you background, I bought my first home at 21.
Congratulations.
So I'm a big fan of, pushing young people to get out there and buy homes as soon as possible. Because if I can do it, so can you. And I'm not really that smart. I swear, I'm a regular dude. I just applied myself.
There we go.
But that's the thing about it, man. Consistency.
Yeah.
When you want to go to the gym, you want to work out, you want to get big, you want to, you don't get there by not lifting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consistency. You got to keep going.
Absolutely, man.
So, man, I respect
on that, man, for real. And it's a progress, and that's the same thing about me with my hats.
Cheers to that.
Hey, let's get it. Cheers, man. Congratulations.
Hey, man. And so, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you good. No, but that's the same thing with me when I realize, with your brand, when you're building a brand, first, sorry.
You okay? Man, that shot coming back or what?
Yeah, we're going to have to edit that.
That's all right, man.
But anyway, what I was saying was that when you're building a brand, there's always a journey. I think about everything I've been through with my hats and things like that. But it's constant growth. People DM me and message me and always ask me about information and what should I do, or all these. And I just tell them, man, just follow your heart. There's no blueprint to what you're doing. If you try to follow somebody else, you're gonna end up trying to be like them.
Yep.
Just stay in your lane and do the things that you love to do.
Yep.
And the thing about it is that when I realized I love what I'm doing, I felt like, I gotta continue to get new customers. I gotta continue to push my brand. And so after your family bought my hats and friends bought my hats, I'm like, I gotta get new customers.
Yep.
And that's why I see so many people all the time with amazing ideas. I mean, awesome ideas on social media, but as soon as their family and friends stop supporting them or stop buying their product or stop buying their music or whatever it is that they're trying to pursue, they give up.
Yep.
And that's when you know that you really want it, when you're going to go get a new customer, or you're going to continue to push to get people to see what you're doing, and that's what I started doing. I started talking to these local liquor stores and local businesses and things like that. And I used to go in there, I'm not going to lie, I used to go in there shaky and stuttering and things like that. And they would see that energy and they'd be like, oh, nah, I'm cool off the hats. And that was just a trial and error.
Yeah.
It just learning and continue to learn how to talk to people about their business and things like that. And before you know it, man, I'm going in there with confidence, and feeling and proud about my product. And now when a person tell me, because obviously, they a lot of these stores, they done had test runs with hats.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I come in there with my hats and they like, oh man, we gave a run with some hats that San Diego on it, or the little California bear. I'm like, but none of them say Fatherhood.
Right.
Give me an opportunity, man. If it don't sell within, 30 days or whatever, I'll pull it out. We don't got to do no consignment or nothing.
That's what I was going to say, consignment. Yeah.
We don't got to do no consignment or nothing like that. If it's not selling, I'll pull it. It's nothing against you or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, man, you know what? Just put it right there. Let's give it a try. I come back, come check it out. 2 or 3 hats, man, say, hey, man, do you got any different colors?
Yeah.
So it just stand that persistence of what you want to do, man, and continue to have those conversations and just never giving up.
Oh, yeah, bro. You have
never
to, man.
Giving up, man.
You have to. You're in a niche right now, and I think that's why I wanted to bring you on, too, man, because you're in such a niche market, specific, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got to say, like, for me, when I see your brand and I see what you're running, I'm like, man, I get a million ideas.
Yeah.
And we could chop it up like after the show,
yeah.
and I could pick your brain on it and give you some ideas and whatnot.
Okay.
But I just think that like it's such a niche name, niche market, and it's something that you can build off of. I don't know if you ever watched this the movie. I forgot what it's called. Man, it's slipping my brain. It's like about McDonald's. It's called
Coming to America.
Is it? No, not Coming to America. It's another one. It's based on McDonald's, right?
Oh, you're talking about
the founder. That's what it is.
The founder.
Yeah. So The Founder is cool. It's a cool movie, right?
Yeah.
But I just remember at the end, he was like, you kept the name McDonald's. Why did you keep the name McDonald's?
Yeah.
Like you don't get it, do you?
Yeah.
You just don't get it. It's not the name. It's the arches.
Yeah.
And then you think about real estate. You think about like what McDonald's is. It's a brand. They're a brand,
right?
And they're not even in, they're not even into selling burgers. They're into real estate.
Yeah. Wow.
Like people don't even know that McDonald's is the largest real estate owner in the world because they don't sell burgers. They just own real estate.
Right.
And so my point in that is to say like when you find a brand, right? There's purpose behind the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Like when I was creating my logo, it was like it's because I was trying to. I'm like, all right. Who do I work with, bro? I love working with first-time homeowners.
Okay.
I love working with my culture, right? I'm half Mexican. I'm half Chaldean.
Okay, let's get it.
And so I said, all right, the beard part, that's where I get the Chaldean side.
Yeah.
But the sombrero part, that's the Mexican side. I said, let me combine it. Let's see what we get out of it. And sure enough, man, it sticks, right?
Yeah.
But it's because you have this vision in your head and you're running with it. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think you're in such a niche market, dude. I think fatherhood has the potential to do really big things.
Thank you.
And I'd love to see it just grow, man. And if you ever need my help to help you with that, I'm more than happy to lend a helping hand.
Well, first of all, man, I don't got no ego. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever ideas that I feel like, it's going to be righteous to, growth, man, I, pounce them off me. Man,
you should say that again because some people need to hear that.
Yeah, no, I don't, man. And that's the reason why I continue to grow the way that I grow, man. And if I had an ego, I'm going to tell you a quick story. It was a gentleman. I was doing a pop-up event. I do a lot of pop-up events through the community. So I'm going to be doing one this Saturday at FamMart. Shout out to FamMart.
Shout out FamMart,
man.
Man.
This Saturday I'll be there from 12 to 6. Have all the hats fully stocked. So it's going to be a FamMart streetwear event. And but anyway,
what a trip, man.
Yeah.
FamMart. See, I'm 25, right?
Okay.
But my family. So I got an uncle of mine. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, you good.
I want to circle back to that, but I got an uncle of mine. He had at one point back in the 90s, early 90s, early 2000, or late 90s, early 2000s. He had like 9 stores up in FanMart.
Wow.
One of them a tattoo shop, one of them a lingerie. He was just, he's a funny cat, man.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like FanMart, if you're from San Diego, you know FanMart.
Yeah.
You fucking know FanMart, dog.
Absolutely. No, real talk.
Go ahead, my bad. Take it over again.
No, but what I'm saying is that I was talking about like having an ego, so I have, my Fatherhood hats, right? So it was a gentleman had bought a hat from me at a pop-up event, right? And so he was like, hey, he bought the hat and he walked away and he came back. He was like, hey man, somebody I'm gonna be walking in the mall or somewhere, somebody gonna like be like, hey, where you get that hat from?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no information on here. I don't know how to get in contact with you. And I'm like, man, I never really thought about that. He was like, you know what? When you get back home, I want you to print up some stickers with your information on it there and put it up under your lid.
Oh.
So it's a car.
Smart.
It's a cell that's selling itself.
Yep.
Even if they tear it off, they probably done looked at it, took a picture of it or whatever the case, maybe kept it or whatever. At least you give yourself an opportunity for a sale when you're not there.
That's correct.
So if I had an ego, I wouldn't have took his information.
Right.
I would have been like, man, I done sold a lot of hats. What's this dude
What you talking about? Yeah.
Exactly. So when I went home, guess what I did? I got with my sister. She printed up some logos for me, start sticking them up under my hat, my number, my Instagram, all of that information.
Yep, I love that.
If they choose to want to throw it away, then that's on them. But 9 times out of 10, they might go on my website now.
Yep.
It's a sale that's at, you know what I mean? So I never have an ego about anything that got to do with growth.
Right.
We here to, to bounce things off of you guys. I love continue to learn from. I'm not here on no mistake, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Same. I know.
What I mean? It's meant for me to be here.
That's why I'm telling you, like, what are the odds, man? I just met him. This is my first time meeting him here today, guys. But I just met him probably like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and here he is on the podcast. Why?
Yeah.
Right. You got to ask questions,
Absolutely.
man. It's because
it's purpose, bro.
There's purpose behind everything,
man. And it's a build up between. Like I tell people, it's a build up from everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's gonna be building up from this.
Correct.
It's never just about this right here. You know what I mean? We right here right now, but it's always something that's gonna continue to grow and grow and grow.
Yep.
That's
why, you know what? I'm gonna encourage you. So I'm gonna invite you out to this thing on May 10th. I'm gonna be doing kind of like a pop-up shop, but I'm gonna do a cross promotion with Ryan Anthony.
Okay.
Come through. On May 10th, that way you can meet him. You can give him some hats and stuff too, man. Because
I met him before.
You met him before?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's a cool cat, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope he hears this, man. Sometimes I'd be spamming him because I'm like, hey Ryan, come on, man, check out my shit.
Yeah.
But he's a cool dude. But come out and maybe that could be some extra business for you too. You could do like a quick little promotion and sell some hats right there too.
Yeah. No, I chopped it up with him and he shared some game with me, and he reached out to me. It was kind of similar lane, just reaching out to local stores, local businesses and things like that and pushing your brand and things like that. So he found his lane.
Have you locked in? I know like, you're doing FanMart, but have you locked in with like Ish Exclusive? Okay, you have?
And Ish Exclusive before.
Okay.
Valley.
Yeah.
Tapped in with him too, man. Shout out to him.
Shout out Ish.
Yeah, he, reached. I was doing a pop-up event, man. I stayed front line.
Good.
So, obviously we just getting over the winter and all of that. So, everybody tucked in with their family for the holidays and things like that. So the sun is out, man. You're gonna see fatherhood. You're gonna see fatherhood everywhere, man.
I love that, man.
Wherever it's a pop-up event or whatever it gotta be, man, I'm front line with my brand.
Man,
front line,
as
man.
you should be, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be in real life.
So a lot of people know Fatherhood, right? Because you do a lot of promoting.
Right.
But talk about Joseph a little bit, man. So like Joseph, where are you from? Where did you grow up? I feel like a lot of your fan base is probably gonna want to hear this.
Right.
And this is your shot to like let them know, man. So where'd you grow up? Where are you from? And then talk to me a little bit about life here in San Diego now.
Bro, born and raised in Southeast San Diego.
Okay.
Grew off Ocean View Boulevard, man. Single parent mother. 3 siblings. Just come through the struggle, man. Ups and downs and things like that. Went to Lincoln High School.
Damn.
Yeah, I always loved sports, but kind of back then, my mom wasn't able to financially put me in the Pop Warners and all of those kind of different things. So I always just find little recreation stuff to be able to do for us, coming up as a youth.
Right.
But just, like I said, man, just, product of the environment at that particular time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
I got you.
Yeah, so I just started realizing, my mother didn't have those financial things that was going to be able to get to, be able to take care of me with. So I didn't complain about it, just started hustling a little bit earlier. You know what I mean? Just trying to find my way or what have you and things like that, man. So, during the process, just early age, just trying to make money to be able to feed myself or put clothes on. I mean, get new clothes or new shoes and things like that, man. But I never made my mother feel any type of way. You know what I'm saying? I understood what it was, and I got off the porch early and started doing whatever I had to do to survive. And just having that mindset early in my lifetime, man, I just had that hustle spirit.
Yeah.
So just coming up, man, went to Lincoln, was, graduated from Lincoln, not just went, but I graduated from there, got a diploma for my mother. That was the inspiration, and
nice, man. Amen.
Yeah, after that, man, bro, just, just normal little gigs, little jobs and things like that, man. And I started DJing, bro.
Okay.
Music was my passion, I started DJing, man, through the hood and, and all that stuff. Everybody was recognizing me and different little house parties. That's when house parties was really, really popular back then and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from, the guys that's out there, guys that was out there doing it, the Blind Chris and all of those guys that was doing DJing back then. So I was just really into music and never did no rapping or nothing like that or, just DJing and stuff like that. And obviously, found out that I was going to have a son. I mean, have a child or what have you, obviously learned out later it was, be a boy. But just, I love DJing, man, but it kind of fizzed out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It did fizz out. And I just knew I had a responsibility to take care of it, man. So I started working at Home Depot.
Okay.
Started working at Home Depot.
Which one?
I was on the Met team.
Okay.
And what the Met team, they was a merchandising department for Home Depot. It was like a Coca-Cola or whatever. So we would go to different stores every day, different Home Depots every day for an 8-hour shift. And I was in the garden department, you know what I'm saying? So
okay.
In the garden department, doing retail or what have you. And, man, I was there for 16 years, man.
No way.
Yeah. 16 years, had the 401k and all of that solid or whatever, And like I said, man, just a normal job. And obviously my son started getting older, starting to put him in sports and things like that. And financial things started getting a little bit rough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And didn't want to go down the lane and be doing anything that put me in jail. So I was just always trying to find positive avenues to be able to get financial money for my family.
And that can be a bit tough, bro. I mean, a lot of people don't know about Southeast San Diego,
Absolutely.
but like to grow, it depends on what side of Ocean View Boulevard you grew up on too, because if you're down there by what is it, Sherman? No. Logan.
Yeah.
Right? It's a whole different atmosphere. But once you cross over on the 15, it could be a whole nother atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in an area where they, was Brims and Shelltown.
Okay,
Yeah, so I didn't leave there. I didn't leave that area, man, until I had my son.
Oh,
and then that's when I, obviously got an apartment, with my wife or what have you, and we just started creating our own lane with our own family.
I just, I know I got friends and family that grew up in Southeast Dago, and I could just tell you, man, like it's the fact like how we're having a conversation right now, and you're like, you're saying you found positive avenues, man. That's a tough thing to do, man. You're a one percenter for that. Right.
Yeah. I had the big cousins, the uncles, and everybody that was fully gang members and pimping and sold drugs. I had every excuse to go down that lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But once I had my son, it had a different purpose, man. I just knew, I didn't know I was going to be doing Fatherhood but I just always stayed trying to do something positive. Like I said, I was doing my DJ thing for a long time, and that's why now, that when I do like little videos and stuff like that, I always have like dope music because I used to be a DJ. So I know I have that ear for music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just growth, man. You know what I'm saying? Just learning about life.
And that's passion right there, man. Yeah. Right? Like think about it. You have a brand, right? That number one you believe in.
Right.
Right? But not just because, you got it tatted on you because you've worn it for so long.
Right.
you have a passion to being a father because you did some things to change and embraced it.
Yes.
You know, you embraced fatherhood versus like running away from it, man. And so you know what? That's a great a great business to have because you love it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
That's
Thank you.
like amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's man, it's from the heart and soul, man. I tell people all the time, man, what I do is off the camera, it's off social media. I'm that way with my son and my nieces and nephews like that all the time, man. Fatherhood is my life. I'm truly blessed, bro.
Man, it's different now. Like my daughter, I wake up in the mornings, and it's funny because we got her a little she has her own room, and we have like a little it's called a Montessori bed.
Okay.
And what it is like it's not a crib. It's like it lays on the ground because she moves all over the place, man. So you know, I'll be laying next to her to put her to sleep.
Right.
Sometimes I fall asleep, and I wake up next to her in the morning.
Right.
But lately, she's been doing this thing, right, where she's like throwing shit at my head. Like I'll be sleeping, and all of a sudden I get a teddy bear to the fucking head, or I get like she like does this thing too, where she's like on her knees and she's like poking her fingers in my mouth. I'm like, I'm sleeping, damn it. Like, but that's fatherhood.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the beauty behind it, man. That's why I could get behind in a brand like that, because it's just like, dude, like you know, I now that I have a daughter, and like it makes me want to have more kids, man. Even I know that sounds crazy, but it's just like it makes me want to hustle to find ways to like, all right, I want to make sure her mom is good. I want to make sure she's good. I want to make sure that there's nothing I didn't do on this earth to like try to make it the best life for them.
Absolutely,
you know?
Yeah. And that's and the thing about it though, bro, is just, man, it's just constant. It's just somebody can just come and just take your heart away, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going through a lot of stuff before I found out I was gonna have my son, man. And I honestly believe that, you know, my son came and saved my life, man.
Man, that
saved
is like
my life.
That's insane. Do you
Honestly,
say that?
To save my life, man. So by him, I believe he that's why he's my hero, man. Like for real. Like it ain't Michael Jordan, it ain't Bob Marley, it ain't Magic Johnson, it ain't Kobe. It's my son is my hero, bro.
Man,
like everything about him, man. I wish I could be him, man.
What's his name?
Cortez.
Cortez,
Shout out to my
man.
son Cortez, man.
Your dad loves you, bro.
Man, no doubt. No doubt.
Know?
One of the dopest basketball players ever watched.
How old is he now?
He's 15.
He's 15, man.
Yeah.
So you know what? He's gonna look back at this. He'll probably see this. He's gonna look back at this and man, always will cherish those words, man.
Thank you, bro.
Always.
I appreciate it, man. The same thing to your beautiful daughter too, man. She's very blessed to be able to have you in her life, man.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm proud of you for embracing that responsibility.
Yeah, man. No, it was always like I always knew as a young kid. I knew like I'm built to be a dad.
That's right.
I don't know, like it's funny when my girl handed me the, what is it called? The little the stick pregnancy test. Yeah. She was like, you know, she did it while I was driving out, right, of my complex. I'm driving, and I had a roommate at the time. She goes, well, how are you gonna get him out? Because, you know, I was frustrated with him because he's always behind on his rent.
Okay.
Chepe, I know you're gonna hear this, man. Fuck you for that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, but she's like, well, you know, when are you gonna get him out? Because, you know, and then all of a sudden, as I'm driving, I'm like this, and she starts putting in my peripheral, and I'm like, oh, and my reaction, I stop the car before I pull out of the complex. I look at it, I'm like, oh fuck, and it's like that was just my like natural reaction.
Absolutely.
But you know what? It was that was the best oh fuck moment of my life, because you know what? I was nervous. I had so much adrenaline pumping through my body, but I figured out that day my swimmers work. You know what I'm saying? I can have kids, man, and that's a blessing. Some people can't.
Yeah, I know.
Some people can't, and it's just such a blessing, bro.
Yeah, and you became a father then. As soon as you found out right there, bro.
Oh yeah.
It touched your spirit right there, man. Like, you know, it's crazy, man. That's so awesome, man.
Now let me ask you. I'm curious, man. Like, do you? So, I hate like to switch directions, but I want to ask you because I think a lot of like I can honestly say like I feel like there's a big presence of God in my life.
Let's go. And
you know, I don't want to push or pry, but I feel like I'm thankful. Like to even be able to bring God up, man. You know, Easter was this last weekend, but I'm very thankful that like God had a purpose for my life, man. Do you feel like God is incorporated in your business or some sort of higher being or power or anything like that?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%, bro. Glory to God every day. Bro.
Amen. All right.
Every day, man. Ain't nothing hiding from me from that, man. I'm thankful for everything that God put in my life, bro. It ain't no other way. No other way that I'll be here right now talking about what I'm doing besides God.
And that's why I wanted to bring that up.
Never front on that. Never, ever. And when I first started my brand, I had people tell me, "Hey, man, don't mix God with your brand, or don't mix family with your brand." No, there's no way. The purpose the reason why I got this in my heart and soul is because that was His plan for me.
Yeah,
that was His plan. I know 1,000%, man. This is God's plan for me, bro.
I love that.
And that's the
man.
reason why it's growing so organically.
Yep.
So organically. It's no front behind what I'm doing.
I'm unapologetic about it, man. I'm a big believer in Christ. Like I'm a big believer in God, and I can agree to disagree with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Like I want to have people on this podcast that think differently. I really
Absolutely.
do. But you know what, man? All glory to God. I am not a perfect Christian by any means.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think any Christian is.
No.
But I'm very grateful for the opportunity to like have breath in my lungs, man, and to have the things that I do that I know I don't deserve, but God gave them to me anyways.
Let's go.
You know, and so that's why like I asked that question, man, because you struck me as a guy that did.
Yeah.
But you know, in business, without God, you'll fail.
Yeah.
In anything in life, you fail.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, you know, like everything needs to be picture perfect, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in church a lot of my life, man.
Right.
But you know, I you know, went away and have come back to find God on my own time, plenty of times,
right?
Plenty of times. But like
God never left you. That's what are we talking about?
That's the truth.
Know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. Like even after every time, not to cut you off, but every time you know I do a post or something, and I speak out to, even if I'm just talking about my hat or whatever, I always say keep God first, never give up, and always believe in yourself.
Yep.
Go back to any one of my videos when I'm speaking, you're gonna hear that.
Yep.
Off top, no matter if I'm talking about the Lakers, I'm gonna end it with that.
Yep.
Straight up, man.
As you should, man.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people get it twisted because that's where ego kicks in.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the success in my business has come because I finally laid down my pride.
Yeah.
Right? Or I finally have realized like it's not me that can pull in these deals. There's got to be a higher source. Because I'll give you an example, bro. Okay. So I just sold a house. We just did a closing video. We just did a closing for this client. He's a good friend of mine, right? I've known him since I was 13 years old. He's a little bit older than me. He's like probably 10 years. He got 10 years old. 10 years on me, but he messaged me at like 3:30 in the morning. He's a barber, right? For UFC fighters. His name is Josh. Andy knows Josh.
Nice.
And nonetheless, Josh.
I gotta slide him some hats too. The barber.
Oh yeah, come through. Well, that's where we're gonna do the Ryan Anthony promotion.
Yeah. I'll put some. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're gonna
put some hats in there too. Man.
Oh man, you're gonna love him, bro. If you don't already have a good barber, shout out Joshy. We love you, bro. He's one of the dopest in the game.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're okay. But nonetheless, so we're doing this closing for him, right? But I told my girl, because I had quit my job November of 2024, right? I left the same job twice. They hired me back, and then I left again in November of 2024. I doing loans. Okay. And when I left, man, the day I left or day after I left, my brother-in-law contacts me. He's like, "Hey, I want to buy a house." Okay, I'm like, "Damn, now I got a check lined up." Thank God. But I'm like, all right, that's gonna only buy me a certain amount of time. Okay. Bro, I kid you not, deal after deal after deal had come in. So my point being is this barber guy, right, Josh. So it's 3:30 in the morning. This is probably sometime in February or late January, I can't remember. But he's like, "Hey, June, you know, things are falling apart with my realtor right now and my lender. I know you do real estate. I know you did lending. You know, can you help me out?" I said, "Sure, no problem. I don't mind at all, man." It was 3:30 in the morning. I woke up at 4:30 that morning for some reason. Like, I'm like, you know, only like, why was I up at 4:30 in the morning? Actually, I remember my daughter woke me up at 4:30 in the morning to make her a bottle. Right. But I checked my messages and I said, you know what? that had to be God. Because what if I didn't respond back to them that second? We went into a full conversation, boom, 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 had everything lined up, and then I just handed him the keys this like 2 weeks ago on this Sunday.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Like I can't make this up.
Congratulations.
How do you you know?
Yeah.
And it just comes from persistence. Like my logic is like this, man. It goes God, persistence, dedication, perseverance, and humility. There you go. I was trying to find the word, but humility.
There we go.
Like if you do these things with a humble heart, man.
Yeah.
Man, doors will blast open.
That's awesome, man.
Doors will blast open.
No doubt.
But that's why I wanted to ask you about that, man, because God plays a vital role in my life, and I'm sure He does in yours now.
Every single day, every single moment, every single second, man.
Damn, man.
Glory to God, bro, for real.
All right. Well, is there any questions you have for me? Is there any
Oh man, what's something that you look? What's been? I mean, I know your daughter's, obviously still so small, but what's been a challenge so far with fatherhood with you?
So, all right, I'm gonna expose myself a little bit here. That's a great question. Sorry, I'm not trying to get choked up, man.
Yeah.
But you got things in your past, right? You grow up a certain way, and you don't want to be that way to your daughter or your kids at all, Yeah. And I had a great dad, man, growing up. I don't speak to my dad right now, but I grew up with a great father. And I think part of it for him was he was raised a certain way. And my dad's actually a pastor, believe it or not, guys. Okay. But he grew up a certain way, man. My grandpa, I'll give you some background, right? I'm going to answer that question, but it's going to be I'm going to dive into it. So my grandpa was a pretty abusive guy, man. He used to like burn his kids, bro. My grandpa grew up back home in Iraq, right?
Wow.
I'm not afraid to spark controversy. I really don't care.
Okay.
But the fact of it is my grandpa was a pretty abusive guy. He's a drunk guy. And my dad did everything in his power to be the opposite of him.
Let's go.
Which is what you want, right? He went to the complete opposite. So my dad got saved, became a pastor, and in my opinion, my dad went so far to the extreme, man, where for me, like, I had my daughter out of wedlock, and so he felt some type of way about that. But really, my dad had me at 16 years old too. He had me younger, actually. And so for me, my biggest thing with to answer your question with my daughter, like, I want to be able, the hardest part is not getting angry so fast. Okay. Right? My dad raised me a single father, so there's a lot of things that I understand. He's probably going to hear this, and that's okay. I want him to. But, the thing is, like, you were raised a certain way. You get, like, for me, I get angry so fast, man. But then, you start to realize, like, why am I getting so angry? Mm-hmm. She's just a little baby. Mm-hmm. She don't know no different. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I feel like it's family curses, right? Mm-hmm. Like, don't be like God said it multiple times, right? Be slow to anger, mm-hmm. right? And that's something that even in my own personality, like, it's dribbled down. So I try to fix myself in that respect. But that's the hardest part. It's not getting up in the morning and feeding my daughters. Yeah. It's not her waking up. None of that. Nah, man. It's just learning to be composed and be an adult.
Right.
Okay. Like, for me, growing up as a kid, like, oh, you don't want that? Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna finish your food? Bam. Yeah. Like, or just constant
direct reaction.
Yeah, direct reaction. There you go. Like, for me, that's the way I grew up, and I don't blame my dad. I love him. I hope he hears that, man. I love my dad, but those are some of the things that I want to do different with my daughters. I want to be slow to anger. Now, will I still be hard on her? Absolutely. Yeah. I was just having this conversation with my buddy this morning, and I told him, like, because he has a daughter too. Right. I told him I don't want my daughter. My daughter can go to college if she wants to find a way to get to college. Yeah. Right. I'm not. If she needs help, I'll help her along the way. Right. But I'm not paying for college $50,000 a year because she does. If she doesn't have her mind made up and she's not passionate, like, she's gonna you know what I'm saying?
Getting a scholarship.
Yeah, if she's not going to be passionate about what she does, I'm not going to pay for that. Yeah. So there's levels to it, right? Absolutely. Like you got to be slow to anger. You got to know, you got to have discernment. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, and so, you know, there's that's the hard part with fatherhood right now is learning to control myself. Okay. Not that I mean, she's a little baby, man. You know, it's not like anything crazy. It's just myself, like learning not to get frustrated. Yeah. What about yourself, man? What do you think is some of the hard parts of being some of the challenges?
Just constant change, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just constant change. Right now, my son's is in high school. And just, you know, his personality changing, you know, our children is always changing, you know, and I realized that a long time ago, my son had a little swing, right? So that little swing used to put him to sleep. Mm-hmm. And then as he started growing, I realized that swing couldn't swing him no more because he got a little chubby, you know what I mean? So he wasn't going to sleep. So then that's when it first dawned on me. I'm like, man, this guy going to be changing like this forever. Yeah. And no matter what, bro, he constantly changes. As soon as you think you got the rhythm of your child or you know what they, you know what I mean, got it caught up and you know what I mean, knowing what kind of ice cream they like or what they like, boom, it changed. So it's the constant change, you know what I'm saying, of learning your child, you know what I'm saying, or your children, you know? So that's the thing that's for me, man, that's the most, it's a blessing, but it's still a big challenge. It's just always the constant growth, man. So it just keeps me on my toes and things like that. So I wouldn't say it's like a bad thing, but just, man, right now, you know, obviously in high school, but I'm just thankful to have a good kid and I established communication with him early. So that's the thing that I highly recommend, just open honesty. Yep. Being able to talk to your children. I used to be, man, my son used to be in the car seat in the back, and I'm holding a conversation with him like he 20 years old, just talking about my work day and when I'm kind of going through. And what that did was build a communication bond within us. Yep. Even if he just sitting back like not able to speak or, you know, nodding his head or whatever, he was somebody that I can communicate with and get out whatever I had to speak to at that particular time. Yeah. So communication is definitely the key to fatherhood.
For sure, man. You know what? That's one thing that, like, I'm gonna take that advice, man. And that like, for me, that's one thing that I've been learning is like, man, you know, you want to do things differently, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I usually try to do this podcast has been pretty interesting so far, mm-hmm. and I try to ask like tough questions, man. Mm-hmm. So one of the questions that I usually ask behind every entrepreneur that I've talked to so far, right, in business, everybody talks about in business, there's like momentum, building, you're doing things, you're rah, 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 right? But nobody talks about like the pain, man. Nobody talks about the suffering you go through, all the years of working at Home Depot, everything that it took to get you to this place, right? You know, how much did, you know, you said you were raised by a single mom, like how much did that impact you with your son, and like how much, you know, of a better parent did you want to become, you know, knowing your mom raised you as a single mom?
Yeah, well, my pops wasn't in my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had siblings that lived with my brother, you know what I'm saying? I mean, lived with my father. And I was like, literally like, I was in Southeast, they was in Encanto. So I knew that my pops was able to be a father, you know what I'm saying? But he was raising my other siblings, you know what I'm saying? And so that kind of stuck with me like, damn, why my pops, you know what I'm saying? Don't want me to pull up or this and that and the others. But those was the times where, you know, my uncle was really solid in my life. I had big cousins and things like that. So I always had that male father figure in my life, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't too much a void because they was good guys. Yeah, yeah. Even if they was teaching me how to gamble or shoot dice or play dominoes or whatever, you know what I mean, drink or smoke, whatever they taught me, they took time to teach me. Yeah. That's the thing, taking the time to teach, you know what I'm saying? Even regardless of what they was teaching me, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that time, those things that they taught me was about surviving. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now you can look back on it like, you know, have a different outlook, but at that particular time, man, they taught me how to take care of myself. Right. You know what I mean? So, but what I just didn't want my son to go through what I went through, you know what I'm saying, as a youth, you know what I'm saying? So that's why no matter what, I was going to be by his side and support him and be there.
Love that.
And show him love, man. And the thing is about, I always have my son in sports since 4.5 years old, bro. So he played basketball, youth football, baseball, all of those different things. So we just always made sure he had a rotation of those sports. And I just started realizing, man, like now him coming into a teen and those things like that, he has amazing gifts, you know what I'm saying, in all of those sports and things like that. But he loves basketball, you know what I'm saying? And I, you know, I'm thinking like, damn, man, I know you could play all these other sports too. You know, I want you to have multiple lanes.
Yep.
But I'm realizing that that's his path.
Mm-hmm.
That's his passion. So I got to get behind and support what he did. All these years, he been doing everything that me and his mom want him to do. But his passion is basketball. So I'm supporting him on that. And that the reason why I'm saying that to say this is that as your child start growing and they start going in a direction, long as it ain't nothing, you know, crazy or negative or nothing like that, but we all have our path, bro.
Yeah.
We all have our path. And it's just you know, every father have their discipline ways, their celebration ways with their children, what they praise them for, all of that. Everybody different, you know what I'm saying? But the things that just stick out to me, and my son is 15, so I've been a father for 15 years, it's just love, support, and understanding, bro.
That's simple.
What's been getting me by.
Love, support, and understanding.
Loving my son, supporting my son, and understanding that he have a path.
Yep.
Not getting my ego into the way of it's I'm not ruling with an iron fist, bro.
Yeah, man.
Just having an open mind about my son.
There you go.
And growing with him, bro. Even just the simplest things are just when he getting in the car and letting him play his music, bro.
Man, it's crazy. I met my fiance Divine. She's the best, man.
Okay.
I feel like I shout her out almost every podcast. But her parents are great people, bro. Like they're just freaking great people, man.
That's
and
right.
all of their kids are successful. My girl's about to graduate. She's about to graduate SDSU with a bachelor's degree in nursing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, man. She's a blessing, man. She's an Air Force veteran, believe it or not.
Let's go.
She worked at Nike. She gets a lifetime discount. Shout out Nike.
Okay.
Right? So she was a hard worker, and she literally did all three of those, nursing school, all of that while pregnant, you know?
That's right.
But her family instilled hard work. But they didn't push it on them. They let the kids be kids, bro. Her brother joined the Navy. He's an electrician now. Okay. He's a successful dude. Oh, I just helped him buy a house in December.
Right.
She has a little sister too that's on the way, and it's just like, you know, man, that's how you got to rule. You can't rule with an iron fist, man. You got to let kids be kids. But really, what you got to do is set the example by working hard day in, day out, Man. And that's one thing that, like, you know, I don't take for granted at all, man. Like, God gave me, like I said, gave me this chance to, like, grind it out, to be able to be here, to talk to entrepreneurs, to do these things, man. And, like, I wanted to leave something behind for my daughter that she'll always remember.
Yes.
You know, and I know you do, too. That's hence the reason fatherhood.
Absolutely.
Hence the reason.
And it's not just about, sorry not to cut you off.
Nah.
But
sorry.
I just want to ask you, man, like, what was the inspiration of, you know, starting your podcast?
Oh, dude. All right. So I always wanted to do a podcast. My bad. I always wanted to do a podcast. My buddy, Josh, he had a podcast already that he hopped on. And he was like, hey, bro, you know what? I want you to come on and talk to me on my podcast. So I got all excited, bro, because I've been waiting. This is something I've always wanted to do. I told my girl like 2 years ago, I want to have my own podcast because I just like talking to people. There's a saying, right? They say people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
So for me, I like people, bro. I like talking to them. So I figured, all right, I'm going to hop on this podcast with my boy, see how it goes. So I hopped on, and I'm more giddy than him. I'm like, all right, I want to do this shit. Let's fucking do it. Let's go. I'm amped up. And he goes, hey, yo, that was the most fire podcast I think I've done at the end.
Let's go.
And I said, you know what, bro? I felt like I was made for this. So then 2 days goes by, right? 3 days goes by. I start getting some of the clips, and Andy will do the same thing for us, right?
Yeah.
But I started getting some clips, and I started posting them on Instagram, and it flew. So then I get an interesting message from a sponsor, which is it's a meal prep company called Meal Prep Sunday. Look, they're already getting another shout out here. I'm gonna have to send the same guy this message. His name's Thomas. Shout out Thomas Krebs at Meal Prep Sunday. So I get a message from them, and they're saying, hey, we'd like to sponsor you to bring us on to your podcast, for, talk about us, bring us up, whatever. But we want you to somehow find a way to make it sound naturally and organic and whatever. And, we'll hook you up, right? We'll compensate you is what the word he said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for me, I love that company because when me and my girl were going, like when I was doing real estate full time, so I'd left my company, I started doing real estate full time. Dude, I had no money coming in.
Right.
So me and my girl I was doing Uber trying to get by, trying to pay my mortgage.
I get it.
And me and her split these meals that were like cheap, man. They were cheap and they were healthy. We were working out at the time. And I'm like, and before the baby. And so when Meal Prep Sunday had contacted me, I said, oh shit. All right. This is a real account. Like, this is not no bot, nothing. Yeah. This is a sponsor to a sponsor.
Yeah.
The way they reached out to me on Instagram. And I said, all right, I'm going to take the meals. I don't want you guys to pay me. I want to take the meals. I want to do good business by you guys. And I started realizing, all right, I hopped on a podcast that wasn't even mine.
Let's go.
And they contacted me to use me because I'm promoting it and I'm doing the things I had to do. I'm like, that's a no-brainer, man. They gave me 15 free meals. That's like $200.
Yeah.
Like, I took that in a heartbeat. I'm
that
like,
part. Yeah.
So that's when I realized, like, you know what? I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna do my own podcast. So I did it. The first one was like almost like an instant classic because I did it with my real estate buddy.
Okay.
My second one I just brought on this guy. He's a big Padres fan. He has a big fan base.
I seen it.
Yeah,
super
he's
dope.
Super dope. Give him a follow, man. He's cool.
Okay.
And then now you're my third podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm not explaining it, bro. Just like God, like here we are chopping it up. You don't know me from Adam, man. Here we are. Like I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Let's go. Let's go. But
I know we're starting to wrap up, get close to the end, and so what I do at the end of every podcast, bro, I do this thing where I just tell the audience, I tell the crowd, and I say like, hey, guys, because people go through mental health and whatnot, and they struggle. So this is my plug to you guys. Like I do traditionally on every channel, on every show that I do. If you guys are out there and you're struggling mentally, man, male or female, you don't know what the hell you want to do, man. Just know that like God has a purpose for you. If you needed that alone, to get you by, then great. But God has a big purpose for you. I can tell you have a purpose for you. And that's the reason why I do these shows, man. I went through a very bad depression in 2020. That broke me. And through that, in the midst of brokenness, I was able to find my fiance, Divine. Ironically, her name is Divine. And God opened up doors for me, and bada bing, bada boom, and and boom, things happened. And so don't give up, man. Life can be hectic, life can be rough. Job had it rough, right? But at the end of the day, stick with it, man. Life is worth living. Every second you got a breath, just be thankful. Change your mindset to being grateful. This is a plug for those that are struggling, man. So I don't know if you want anything to say on that, but I usually end my shows just like, if you guys need a call somebody, you guys want to text somebody, you need some help, call me, man. Text me. Like there's value in everybody's life.
No, you're right, bro. Just to piggyback on it real quick, man, is just my mother was a really huge part of my life, man, and I lost my mother. My mother had passed away, man, and I went through a real tough time, man. She was somebody that I can always talk to about anything. So I went through depression, mental health, just a lot of stress and things like that, man. So that's what I'm saying, bro. My son saved my life, man.
Yeah.
When I found out that he was gonna come in my life, man, it made me smile again. It made me laugh again. It made me excited about life. It just gave me a major purpose
Yep.
Major purpose. So it's my relationship with my son is deep. It's really deep, man.
I love that, man.
So thank you for letting me share that moment, and just one thing that I want to tell people, man, is just never give up. Never give up on life, man. Anything is possible. You can be anything in the world, honestly. It don't matter where you live at. It don't matter how much you have. It don't matter what you're going through. You can accomplish anything in the world. Honestly.
I love that, man. Can you tell them too where they can find your products?
Oh, sure. You can find my product at Fatherhood Hats at myshopify.com, and you can reach out to me directly, 619-718-2211. My Instagram, where you can hit me up also, is Fatherhood Cool, and that's cool with a K, Kool.
Guys, that's a wrap, man. Thank you guys for joining me on the June the Realtor podcast. Hey, it was a pleasure having you on, brother. Hey, man, like I said, it felt like I knew you my whole life, bro. If you ever need anything, I'm always going to be here to help you.
Thank you, brother. Likewise.
All right, we out. Let's do it.